starting off hot with the K-pop girl groups, and I've honestly been kind of surprised at the lack of notoriety that Kep1er has had in mainstream Japan. Sure, their single Wadada was a smash hit and outperformed relatively decent, but after that, nothing has really seemed to stick the landing for them since. Side note, Wadada is an absolute atrocity of a song. If you want to hear a borderline cutesy J-idol track with overblaring buzzy synths and cringe lyrics like running vroom 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 like a supersonic, then Wadada might be for you. Thankfully, Galileo is a much better song, but it's a song that I want to like more, but for some reason something isn't really clicking. And I'm honestly not sure why, because it's not like there's anything remotely bad on it, ranging in all facets of the song. But I get this feeling of like being a corporate idol track despite the production being relatively good. I don't know, it's tough for me to really say, and this is nothing more than a decent new disco song right now. So this one will be the quickest review I think I'm ever going to do. This song is like if Disney wound up changing some of their sound through their own music and made it into a J-idol track, whilst having to keep some of the Disney element. This was definitely a waste of time to listen to, and I hope I never see this again.
Welcome to the Puppet Show, where we playing like the plastic dolls.
Alright, now time for round 5 with XG trying to make me change my thought process on them after the shit show known as Mascara. So while XG still has a giant uphill battle for me to at least find them tolerable, as of lately they have been releasing better music, I can't deny that. Now with this new single, how is it? Here's the thing, I am just going to spoil this now. When I make my top 10 worst hit songs of 2023 for the Japan Hot 100, this will certainly be on here. I have no doubt in my mind about that. This honestly might be just as atrocious as Mascara, and that is totally saying something for sure. Now, I don't want to get more pissed off at this atrocity of a song, so let's just move on and stay tuned for December when that video indeed comes out.
Either way, I'm good. 전부 좋다고.
At least we're on to one of the girl groups in K-pop that I have a much softer spot for. IVE's Afterlike is honestly one of the best songs that wound up charting last year, and it's one of the only K-pop girl group tracks that I wound up saving to my Spotify playlist. With this, IVE took a much different approach compared to a lot of their music, as this is about trying to understand each other as people, and regardless of who you are, we all love differently, and you're amazing just the way you are, not to reference Bruno Mars. See, compared to XG's track, which the message is just vastly different, sometimes a bit of self-reassurance is all we need. No need to be hostile here, people. The only real cons of this track are that I feel like the production is a bit too stripped back for a borderline vaporwave pop song, and the bridge was a dud in all honesty. Other than that, yeah, this track is chill. I don't really mind it all that much. When I first listened to this, all I thought was, this is literally just Chip Skylark's My Shiny Teeth and Me if it was J-Rock. Fun fact, My Shiny Teeth and Me was performed by Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, for those of you who don't know. By the way, stream Better Place, we need NSYNC at least charting in the West right now. If you don't understand why I'm comparing these two, just take a listen here.
My shiny teeth that twinkle just like the stars in space. My shiny
This is a song that doesn't really try to wow you, but it's an easy J-Rock song to turn off your mind to and just have a fun listen to it despite nothing being remotely exceptional here for me to call it anything other than just good. I like it though.
So if you're ready, and if you let me, I wanna see it in motion in 3D.
Here's the big Jungkook single once again that hasn't gotten a full tracking week that will most certainly surge into the top 10 next week. It's a good thing that I could talk about a featuring American rapper for once on this chart, considering that usually never happens, so let's just focus on that for a second. Now, as an American myself, Jack Harlow's from the state of Kentucky, born and raised there. I like the old Jack Harlow considerably more than post What's Poppin' Jack Harlow. Old tracks like Walk in the Park in 9th grade are songs I still listen to this day. If you're wondering why I'm not a fan of Jack Harlow's newer material, just listen to his album Come Home the Kids Miss You, especially his lead single First Class. Man, I was hoping to forget that even existed. Now back to the actual topic, and what a shocker. This is another bare bones bland sex jam radio filler song in hopes to get tons of charting success in the West again. Speaking of the West, I remember Seven was duking it out with a bunch of country songs for that #1 spot. I gotta refresh my mind. What country song was that again? Okay, let's just talk about Jack Harlow's verse here, and does he really say I'm on my Jungkook to start off his verses? What the fucking fuck? How is he so fucking bad today? What the hell? Oh jeez, yeah. Let's just move on before I get a massive headache here.
Bona, 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 love ya. Yeah, yeah.
Remember when I said about that Sekai no Owari track that it had a pretty big marching band type of sound? This is pretty much that if it became a K-pop track. Although no mistake about it, I kinda like this too. Now this only wound up charting thanks to the Japanese version of this charting, so I don't really expect this to last, considering this marching band dance K-pop track is basically just a boy band version of your average Blackpink song. This has been better than most of what's debuted here, but once again, it's nothing spectacular either. You know, I was gonna call this idol track tolerable before the first chorus. After that, it just returns to the status quo of every other idol song. I know there's another one of these later as well, and trust me, I am not looking forward to it. I was hopeful for a second to take a break from anime openings this week, but here we are, I guess. We're starting to transition into the fall season, so I do expect more anime openings to chart within the coming weeks. And why is YOASOBI doing another one? Hell, at this point, I'm not even going to get sick of them just by pure overexposure, but by the overabundance of anime openings they've done. Now, according to my anime list, this opening is supposedly for the new hottest anime of the season, and since YOASOBI just dropped their third album a few days ago at the time I'm editing this, of course there is going to be some buzz around this. Now, as for the opening itself, I mean, I don't think it's bad, but it's painfully mediocre. ISA tries to combine a bunch of medieval, tropical Hawaiian, and elements of Vocaloid pop into this opening, as well as filtering Ikta Arida's voices out in some verses, which just makes this opening janky, and it lacks a serious amount of flow and rhythm to really get me on board. The final remaining ones I must review are both from esteemed idol groups, and to be honest, this is the one where I can be serious with, as it's not your typical uwu core idol song. The idols aren't doing the borderline lolly voice to give me my weekly migraine, and whilst the production can't fully run away from a very glossy and sparkly type of sound, it has enough neutral instrumentation to balance out my pet peeves with these idol tracks. At this point, I'll take what I can get. It's fine enough. Okay, at least AKB Yeonju is rounding things out, so my weekly migraine is fully avoided for this week until Fantasy Football Sundays. And thank God for that. My doctor's appointments are getting quite expensive for my insurance. They wound up getting on the phone, yelled at me about that. All joking aside, it's quite shocking I did get the luck of the draw this week, and you know what? If it's a more tolerable version of another track I sarcastically reviewed back on July 12th's episode, I'm perfectly fine with that. That concludes our week, and it's not even a contest for the bottom two. The worst in all caps will go to Puppet Show by XG, and the dishonorable mention, whilst was tough to decide, I wound up giving it to Yuusha by YOASOBI for just the simple fact that this duo is at Drake levels of overexposure. The best was pretty straightforward. The best is going to Shock by Jang So, with honorable mention going to BONA BONA by Treasure. Before this video ends, I just wanted to announce that my much anticipated short is out. I would be extraordinarily grateful if you gave it a watch, considering it was a new idea that I've been working on for quite some time, and I put a ton of work into it as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Drew from Drew Reviews Music, and I'm signing off saying see you next week. Peace out, everybody.